a terrible secret kept hidden by the entire family and in the end took the life of a 12-year-old girl. Who is to blame for her death? Don't miss it. The spirit of the deceased will reveal the whole truth. This is Psychic Investigations, a show of real and astonishing stories. Here, people who call themselves clairvoyants investigate sensational criminal cases and incredible supernatural phenomena. In a small village in Ukraine, June became the most tragic month of 40-year-old Anzela Litvin's life. Her youngest daughter, Katya, passed away. The girl was just 12.
At around 10 p.m., Katya Litvin was found hanged in the family's yard, in a shed where they kept animal feed.
She used to say that when I grew old, she would take care of me, that she'd look after me, but she left me first.
When Katya was put to rest, nearly the entire village gathered. No one could understand how such a thing could happen to a 12-year-old girl.
So many people came. The funeral was terrifying. Everyone was in shock.
There were so many people because she was a child. It's incomprehensible.
Her mother says nothing seemed wrong that day. Katya swept the yard in the morning, then weeded the garden, fed the livestock, and cooked dinner for the family.
Around 7 p.m., I started getting ready for work, and she stayed home.
Anzela works as a packer at the local canning factory. Around 7 p.m., she left for the night shift. 3 hours later, her daughter was found hanged in the shed. Anzela rushed home in a panic. She saw Katya's lifeless body and fainted.
I collapsed. I couldn't get up. I couldn't say a word. I was in shock.
According to the forensic medical report, there were no signs of violent death on Katya's body. The official police version is that the girl took her own life.
But her mother doesn't believe it. She says her daughter had no reason to commit suicide.
She wanted to live, just like any child, like any adult. She wanted to live. She couldn't have done this to herself.
Katya had an older sister, Olena. She's 23 now. After finishing school, she moved to the city to study. She says Katya dreamed of joining her there and applying to the College of Arts and Culture.
I was 17 when I left. I studied hospitality and tourism. We planned to live together. She even told Mom that she wanted to move in with me.
The happiest child. I don't know. It was a shock for us too. A real shock.
I don't think that she did it herself.
I suspect someone killed her. A lot of people said she was hanged.
Anyone can enter the yard freely. There's no fence. And their dog, Tuzik, who used to guard the home, was hit by a car a month before the tragedy. Anzela also claims she saw strange marks on her daughter's body, what looked like bruises. But for some reason, the police ignored them.
Her face was blue, her hands too. And on the right side of her face, there was a scratch, small. But it wasn't there during the day.
The family believes the police simply didn't want to investigate properly.
When I went to get the morgue report, they sent me to the examiner, but he refused to give me any documents. Nothing. He wouldn't show anything, wouldn't talk. I got the impression they just closed the case, and no one was going to investigate anything.
To find out what really happened to her daughter, Anzela and her older daughter Olena turned to people with extraordinary abilities. They sent a letter to our project.
We wrote right after the killing. They called back pretty quickly and said they'd come in the fall, but then Mom kept waiting. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3.
The crew was already getting ready to travel when someone called the studio, identifying herself as Katya's mother, and asked us not to come. Said she had changed her mind. 4 years passed, and then we got another call. It was Anzela again. It turned out she had been waiting all these years and claims she never canceled the meeting.
I never refused. I was waiting.
Mom could never have said that. She was the one waiting most of all, and then we realized someone really doesn't want the psychics to come. Someone is afraid of the truth. Someone is hiding it.
I don't trust the police anymore. That's why I'm asking the psychics for help. I hope they can reveal the truth, and maybe then, everything will become clear and fall into place.
Participants in the project, Hala Polishchuk and Jake Ryder, took on the investigation of this complicated case.
The first thing I feel when I look at the photo is the girl's overwhelming fear. It's as if someone was watching her, especially before her death. But who? I sense male hands, grabbing the girl, trying to overpower her.
This feels like it's going to be one of the most horrifying cases I've ever worked on. I'm sensing some kind of deranged maniac. The girl was his victim. Can we stop filming for a moment?
It's the first time we've seen the usually composed Australian like this. Could Katya really have fallen prey to a madman?
She's not the first, and she won't be the last victim. We have to go now and stop this man as soon as possible. We need to find him. I don't want anyone else to get hurt.
But what does it all mean? Was Katya truly murdered? Is there a maniac on the loose in the village who might harm someone else next? The psychics have already arrived in the village where the girl lived. They are greeted by her mother, Angela, and sister, Olena.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Angela and Olena. We've been waiting for you. Come inside.
In this house, Katya was born and lived just 12 short years. Who could have taken the life of this innocent child, and why?
The first thing I feel is like bars on the windows. It's very strange. I suddenly felt like I was in a cage. A coldness came over me, as if I was in prison.
But there has never been a prison in this village. What do the psychic sensations mean, and how are they connected to Katya's mysterious death?
I see. These are your little girl's toys.
Yes, yes.
The family is currently renovating the house. In the kitchen, the work hasn't begun yet. That's why Katya's things, her drawings, photos, and toys, have been moved here from her old bedroom.
I see the girl in the night, holding tightly onto this toy.
Yes, yes. She slept with it. It was one of her favorite toys.
I see tears on this toy. Your child felt some kind of danger, and this toy helped her calm down.
Angela says she never knew her daughter cried at night. But what was troubling the 12-year-old girl?
I feel your daughter was good at drawing,
She used to draw.
and she liked to create things with her hands.
I'll show you. Here. She really made all of this herself.
I think she used to write something. Poems, maybe, or stories. I don't know. But I feel that she was inventing and writing something.
After she died, I found poems in her notebook.
Angela says that when she went through Katya's things after her death, she noticed her daughter's latest poems were very sad. And most of her drawings were in dark tones.
I need to step outside.
All right, Jake.
I felt sick. The energy in the house was really off. Some force was pulling me somewhere. It was pulling me farther. This way, I think. I got afraid. This place has a very dark energy. I realized the girl died right here. Holla, holla.
That terrible day, Katya was indeed found right in this shed.
She ran into the shed to hide from a man who was chasing her. Your daughter tried to hide here. Something scared her badly. I don't understand who could have frightened her so much, or why.
Jake, hold on. I'm sensing something. There's strong male energy here. Definitely male. I keep seeing male hands or something like that.
We had to find out who Katya was so afraid of. I had a vision of a brutal murder. One that also happened in this village.
There's something I don't like. Is there someone living over there? Someone strange or unpleasant? Anyone?
I'm not sure.
Whose energy did the clairvoyant sense? Could someone from the Litvin's neighbors be connected to Katya's death? Is killer living right next door?
This energy is really unpleasant. Perhaps even human.
On the other side or this side?
I don't understand. I'm just drawn there. It feels like the person either was in prison or is connected to something.
Was he in prison?
Yes, it feels like he was in prison.
I feel pulled in that direction.
I don't even know such people here.
I see two men and an old woman. They killed her. Someone who lives or used to live over there.
I don't even know who that could be.
Our project's detective questioned the locals and found someone who explained the clairvoyant's feelings.
An old woman was raped and robbed. She was about 74. They raped her, killed her, and took her money. About 8 or 10 years ago. They were imprisoned for it.
The people who brutally killed the local grandmother were in prison at the time of Katya Litvin's death, so they are not connected to the girl's death.
I clearly saw that someone was following Katya that night, but who? I felt there was a conflict with one of her peers. Did your daughter have a fight with someone at school?
Do you feel danger coming from there?
I sense a man who threatened Katya.
Could it be not a man, but a boy? A teenager?
Could Katya's mother be suspecting someone? It turns out the girl had a classmate, Yevhen, who had a crush on her. But a few months before her death, they suddenly stopped talking. What happened between them? And could it have anything to do with Katya's mysterious death?
These days, kids can be incredibly aggressive and cynical, often because their parents don't give them enough attention. The cruelty with which teenagers sometimes bully each other or even kill over trifles is shocking. So I wondered, could Katya's former admirer actually be connected to her death? I'm being drawn to the school where your daughter studied. I feel like we might uncover something there.
The psychics, along with Katya's mother and sister, head to the local school. It's a 10-minute drive from the Litvin home.
This is the school, right?
Yes, yes.
To help the psychics continue their investigation, school staff opened the classroom where Katya studied.
I'm being pulled to this spot. There's still your daughter's energy here.
Katya used to sit at the very desk Jake pointed to. And right behind her sat her admirer, Yevhen.
Now I'm seeing a boy. Your daughter was in love with him. And it was because of him that she had a falling out with another girl. That girl liked him too.
There was a friend at school, maybe shorter, maybe with lighter hair. They used to argue a lot, and I think it was because of a boy.
Her mother says Katya had a childhood friend named Irina since kindergarten.
They went to kindergarten together, played near the schoolyard. They wrote kids' surveys and such.
The girls had a falling out over their classmate Yevhen.
Once she asked me, "Mom, what should a girl do when a boy likes two girls?"
2 girls loved the same boy.
I told her, "That won't happen. A boy will choose one. Just one." And that's how our conversation ended.
I feel the girl saying, "I hate you. I hate you."
I even hear the words, "I'll kill you."
This is horrifying. Our detective went looking for Irina and Yevhen. The boy refused to talk, but Irina agreed. She says she still misses Katya.
I wish I could apologize to her for the times we had conflicts. It even got physical a few times. I feel deeply guilty for how I treated her.
It turns out the girls didn't just argue. They actually fought several times over Yevhen. Could their final quarrel on that fateful night have led to Katya's death? But the psychics sensed male energy at the scene.
I feel that Katya stopped liking that boy, and the girls made up.
They'd argue and make up again. Like always. I'll never say anything bad about Irina.
As it turned out, Katya had reconciled with her friend Irina several months before her death. No evidence links Irina or Yevhen to Katya Litvin's death.
I realized we were on the wrong path. The friend, the boy, they had nothing to do with it. We needed to look for different clues. Hala, I feel I need to leave this place. I feel trapped again, like in a cage.
And it showed up here too? It was at the house, and now here as well?
I'm sensing that same male energy again. But I now realize he has no connection to the school. I'm shown your house again.
Here I feel something more like hurt. It's the energy of resentment. But there I felt fear. And that fear was tied to a man who had been in your yard. We need to go back home.
The psychics return to the Litvin family home. Maybe there, they'll be able to interpret their visions, and the mother and older sister will finally learn what happened to Katya.
I left Ambriella on the bus. It's just too cold for her right now.
The sun's going down, and it's cold.
I can feel Katya. Wait, she's right here. She says, "Mommy, I was very hurt by you. Mom, I loved you so much." She says, "Why did you kill the dog?" My God, how could you have killed it? It got hit by a car.
It got hit by a motorcycle.
She's saying, "Why did you kill the dog?"
We put it in a sack and sank it in the river.
And she knew about it, right?
Of course.
As it turned out, after the car hit Tuzik, he was still alive. And so, to spare the dog from suffering, the woman drowned him in the river.
It's hard to believe, but that dog, Tuzik, was Katya's only true friend. Angela drowned him, and for Katya it was a devastating blow. Angela, did you even love your daughter?
I did love her. I still do.
And yet, did you ever do anything that caused her pain?
As painful as it was, the mother confessed.
I yelled, I hit her. Sometimes I'd scream and couldn't stop, but she never cried.
What do you mean?
She never cried. She always endured it. She always forgave me. I don't think she was ever angry me.
The mother says Katya's day was scheduled to the hour. In the morning, she had to feed the livestock. After school, clean the house, and cook dinner for the family. And if she didn't manage to finish it all, her mother would punish her, sometimes too harshly.
I yelled at her. I don't even remember why I yelled. I said, "I wish you were dead." I never should have said that. But I don't even know why I did.
The poor girl. She had a falling out with her only friend. The boy she liked didn't feel the same. Her sister was far away, and there was no understanding with her mother. Then they drowned her beloved dog. Wasn't that too much for a 12-year-old to bear? What really happened to little Katya, and who is responsible?
I sense a man. I feel a man was speaking very loudly here.
That goose. It's as if it's trying to show me something. Where are you leading me? I often communicate with animals. That's why I almost never part with my umbrella. Animals can sometimes give clues. It sounds strange, but I felt that goose was somehow connected to Katya.
It's unbelievable. But the girl really did love that goose. He's already 15 years old. After Katya's death, the family decided not to kill the animal.
And that goose eventually led me to a clue. Your husband, he lives here?
We live separately. I live over there, and he lives here.
Looks like he's home now.
Angela admitted, not long after their daughter's death, she and her husband, Misha, separated.
For a year after Katya died, we lived in the same house. Then we stopped living together.
The house in which the family lived was given to the future couple by their mother-in-law before the wedding, and it belongs to Misha. They decided Angela would stay there, and Misha would convert the summer kitchen into a separate living space. Now, although they still live in the same yard, they rarely see each other and hardly speak.
I sensed that Katya had some mistrust to her father. Was she afraid of him?
I really don't know.
Was she afraid of him? Please be honest.
I don't know what to say. She was often angry with him.
She was afraid.
But why was 12-year-old Katya afraid of her own father? And why are her mother and sister acting so strangely?
I feel fear. The girl, Katya, she was afraid of her father.
I don't know. There were rumors that she would come to the factory to her mother and often say, "I'm afraid to stay with Dad." I'm not saying it's true. There really were all kinds of rumors.
She was filled with fear, hatred, and rage.
She just treated him that way. I can't explain why.
What was your relationship with your father like?
She can't say. She just can't.
Is the father here?
Yes, he should be here.
Can you call him?
Misha, come here. They want to talk to you. Why?
It turned out that Katya's father had been home all along. But why didn't Angela call him sooner? She even said he wasn't there.
Misha, come out to us.
Why? Misha, come out.
Misha,
come out.
If you have nothing to hide, why won't you come out?
You need to come out to us. What are you afraid of?
I'm not afraid.
But why is Misha acting this way? Does he really have something to hide? And why was his own child afraid of him? Could he somehow be involved in her death?
What do you want from me? I don't want to talk about this. Do you understand? It's hard for me. I don't want any of this.
Misha, did you have tension in your relationship with the girl?
Do you have kids? Don't you ever have tension with them?
It happens.
Then why are you meddling in someone else's family? What are you trying to prove?
But you invited us.
I didn't invite you.
Don't you want to know the truth about how your daughter died? Look me in the eye. I feel that you're the only one who knows what happened. You were the one who found her body, weren't you?
Turns out, on the last day of Katya's life, her father was home. According to Misha, they were watching TV together. Then she went out into the yard and didn't come back for a long time. He went looking for her and found her hanged in the shed. He says he doesn't know how it happened and didn't see any strangers in the yard. But locals say that at Katya's funeral, he was overwhelmed with grief, shouting that it was his fault she died.
At the funeral, her dad shouted, "It's my fault." Maybe because he was the only one home with her at the time. Maybe he felt he hadn't protected her. I don't know.
But what does it all mean? Did something happen that day that Misha couldn't stop? And is he hiding it now? Or was he actually involved in her death?
That image will never leave your mind. She's dead, hanging from a rope. Her body just swaying.
Go away. I don't want to talk to you. That's it.
Misha gets into the car. It seems he has no intention of speaking with the psychics.
He ran over this thing.
Misha decided to leave the yard, but instead only damaged our filming equipment. The psychics tried to stop him.
Look at me. I want to know what really happened that day. Tell us the truth. He refuses to talk to me. I have questions. Do you think the man himself is responsible for your daughter's death?
Anzela stayed silent for a long time, then shared something that makes your hair stand on end.
He said he took her down from the noose himself and claimed she hanged herself. But I don't believe it. These are my suspicions.
Could it be that Misha ran away from the psychics because he really is somehow involved in the child's death?
Can we look at your husband's house?
If it's open.
I want to tune into his energy.
But if the father is really somehow involved, why would he do something like that?
It felt like I got an electric shock. I sense that Misha's older daughter is also very afraid of him. Are you afraid of your father? I sense positive energy from you, but from your father, it's very strange. Half of his energy body is dark, and it seems to want to dominate you and everyone around him. May I? I feel like you have issues in relationships with men. And for some reason, you're afraid to give birth.
I'm afraid to give birth to a girl.
Let's go back to the others. I'm completely confused. What we found out next truly shocked me. Tell me, did your father ever hurt you?
He harassed me when I was 10 years old. He came home drunk and molested me. He came to lie down next to us. I don't know. It was 2 o'clock. I was lying on my back. Katya was there too, and he lay down on that side. Then started to reach into my underwear. I couldn't take it anymore and started turning. He pulled his hand back and looked away.
What's more, Olena says the father did this more than once. It's very hard for her to talk about it.
After that, there were times I cried.
Olena can't even speak about it. She immediately starts crying.
I want to ask the mother, did you know about this?
Olena didn't tell me right away. Later, after Katya was gone, she told me.
It's shameful and frightening to talk about this, isn't it, Olena? How? He's your own father.
She told me a year after Katya died.
I was ashamed. I was afraid to tell him and afraid to tell Mom because she'd start grilling Dad, and I was scared he might, I don't know, kill her.
So I take it you just couldn't take your father's advances anymore and ran away.
Even when I had a boyfriend, I was afraid to close my eyes because it all came back. I'd remember. It felt so wrong. I couldn't do it. I felt disgusted. Later, with time, I got used to it.
And it's because of her father. Olena says that she's afraid to have a daughter. Her biggest fear is that her child might become his next victim.
I see there are also other girls Misha targeted. I feel your sister is here.
Olena, come here.
It turns out, Angela's younger sister, Olena, also came to meet the psychics. She's now 32. After Katya's death, she admitted that Misha had also touched her inappropriately when she was 12, the same age as her deceased niece.
He was walking me to Grandma's, and he took me by the neck, gently, like a man would touch a woman, and said, "You have such a delicate, snow-white neck, not like my wife's." After that happened, I stopped coming here. I can also show you a picture of another sister, Svetlana. She says he touched her directly. But she's too afraid to come here.
Why did you all stay silent for so long?
We were ashamed and scared.
Look, Misha is coming back. We need to talk. We want the truth.
Go look for the truth.
Everything points to you being guilty.
What did you do?
Are you completely out of your mind too?
Maybe I am. Maybe I've lost my mind.
What exactly did I do?
Did you molest your daughter?
Do you like digging around in other people's dirty laundry?
The man stubbornly avoids a clear answer. Could he really molest Katya?
I see the image of a dead girl standing in front of me and I ask myself, how did she die? We already know that Misha touched other girls, but what about her?
What I felt was fear, then hatred, and then such intense emotional pain that just kept growing and growing. It's connected to her father and the things he did. She's saying yes, he did touch her. I don't see him beating her. That I don't see. But I see something like, maybe she was walking past, and he grabbed her by the arms and held her, like to stop her from leaving. She tried to get away, and he just held her tighter.
Your daughter couldn't endure the abuse, and she decided that life wasn't worth living.
So, does that mean Katya took her own life because of the situation she was in? But Angela insists she saw what looked like bruises on her daughter's body.
Angela saw her daughter's body about an hour or two after death. During that time, the arms, legs, and face of someone who dies by hanging often take on a bluish hue. This happens because the blood stops circulating through the body and the limbs swell. Most likely, the mother mistook this post-mortem discoloration for bruises.
So does this mean the girl took her own life because of her father, but the man still refuses to admit any guilt?
Does an alcoholic ever admit he's an alcoholic? Does someone with mental issues ever admit they're unstable? What can we expect from him now? I have this feeling, maybe a month or several months before it happened, she had already started to hate him. I sensed some kind of threats coming from her, directed at the father.
She told me, "I'm going to report Dad to the police." I asked why. She just said, "I will," but didn't explain.
It turns out that months before the tragedy, Katya had told her mother she wanted to file a report against her father, yet Anzela never tried to find out why.
To love a child, it's not enough to just take care of them, cook, and do laundry. True love means listening. It means feeling what your child feels. You sense that there's something wrong, so ask, "Why are you so sad? Why aren't you eating? Why are you crying?" Why didn't you ask her? You're her mother. How? When we tried speaking to the father about what happened, I understood and felt it. Part of his soul was crying. Part of him was being torn apart. I saw depth in his eyes, and demons, and the divine part of this man's soul. What's left of it was suffering.
What? You think I did that on purpose? I couldn't even imagine it. I mean, could something like that ever even cross my mind at night? Maybe my hand slipped while I was sleeping or something? I don't know. Maybe I had some dream. And later I thought, what did I even dream about? Damn. I think there were some girls in that dream.
He doesn't remember. Everything around him is dark. Just darkness. I can't. Something dark is controlling this man.
What force is this? Who's controlling him?
The devil.
Horrifying. Could Anzela have lived with this man all those years and never suspected that he had harassed her sisters and his own daughters?
I could be wrong, but I feel like Anzela always knew. But despite this, she stayed with him. I don't understand. Why didn't you stop your husband?
I don't know what to say.
I sense you did everything under your mother-in-law's control. Why is her opinion so important to you?
Grandma is a witch.
The women believe Misha's mother is a witch. They're afraid that if they speak out about what's happening in the family, she'll curse them.
Don't record this. It will be the end of me.
And here comes your mother-in-law. Wait.
Misha's mother lives across the street. When she heard that psychics arrived to investigate her granddaughter's death, she came right over. But strangely, she wasn't talkative. She quickly shut herself and her son in the garage. Anzela says the last time she reached out to the psychics, her mother-in-law tried to stop her.
She says, "Why bring this up now? It's all in the past. Everyone's forgotten." And I said, "What do you mean forgotten? I haven't."
Can I talk to you?
Do you think your son had anything to do with this tragedy, that the girl?
No, God forbid.
Did you know your son was harassing his daughter and his wife's sisters?
They will blame me for everything.
Blame you? For what?
My mother-in-law will blame me for what he did. She'll blame me.
The real reason Anzela fears her mother-in-law is that she's afraid of ending up homeless. She simply has nowhere else to go.
Anzela confessed, even after Katya's death, when her older daughter revealed that their father had harassed her too, she still stayed with him. She didn't go to the police because, in truth, she had nowhere else to go. And her mother-in-law has threatened to make sure Anzela gets nothing.
Once we were arguing and she told me, brick by brick, I'll tear down the house before I let you have it.
It's horrifying. Poor Katya. No friends, Her beloved dog died, her father was harassing her, and her mother didn't even try to understand what was going on in her child's life. She hit and humiliated her. The only person who could have supported the girl, her older sister, had run away to the city.
Now I understand. The bars I kept sensing at the start of the investigation, that was the loneliness Katya lived in.
This girl, by a cruel twist of fate, ended up in a situation where everything was crushing her.
Everyone pushed her to the edge equally. She was upset with me for leaving, with Mom for yelling and sometimes hitting her, with Dad.
That day she died, she said. I'm done with everyone, I said. Katya, who do you mean by everyone? She didn't answer, just said, I'm going to hang myself. I told her, don't say or even think that. But I didn't take it seriously. That's my fault.
You didn't take your daughter's words seriously and just went to work.
And she said, go, Mom. I said, I'm going. But I stood there in the doorway. 3 or 4 times I said, I'm leaving now. And she kept saying, just go. It felt like something was holding me back in that doorway and didn't want to let me leave. She stayed home, and I left. Everything seemed fine. She was lying on the bed, watching TV, when I stood there. Usually, when I leave for work, I kiss her goodbye. But that day, I didn't. I don't know why. I didn't even come up to her.